Okay, so hello everyone. As you all know, fuel prices are becoming more and more expensive, and because of that, usually before a fuel price hike becomes effective, it is fairly common to see a long line of cars trying to fill up their fuel tanks in an attempt to save money. And recently I saw a video on Facebook of a guy filling up his vehicle at the same time shaking his vehicle like so. Now a lot of people found that funny and even stupid. So let's try to answer that question in this video, okay? What does shaking your vehicle while refueling actually do? So let's try to do that in actual application, okay? First, let me fill this fuel tank to the brim. Okay, so fill that up. Okay, almost there. Okay, see that? So that is now filled to the brim, almost actually. Anyway, see, it's going down. Let me try to fill that some more. Okay, filled to the brim. Now let's see what happens if we shake the vehicle. Okay, first I will try to shake the vehicle like so, sideways, and then let's try like this. Okay, so sideways first. Let's see what happens. See, it's going down. See that? It went down. Let me try to give you a closer look inside the tank. Actually, we can barely see the diesel level. Okay? So imagine you just filled up your tank and you thought it was already filled to the brim. But as you have seen, just shaking your vehicle like so, the diesel went down, allowing us to introduce more fuel. So this is a 2-liter receptacle. Now let's see how many more liters we can actually squeeze in, okay? Okay, so again, fill to the brim, almost half of the container. Let's try to shake that again. Let's see. See, it's again going down. Almost. Still going down. Let's shake that some more. Hold on, let me change the angle. Okay, so let's see if that will be captured by the camera. Come on, shake. Okay, so let's try to add some more. Hold on. Some more diesel. Okay. That's more than a liter now. Let me try to shake that down. Let's see. See, it's going down again. Okay, so let's add some more. Okay, just want to show you, okay? Hold on. See? This was a 2-liter receptacle and the diesel is only up to here. Let's try to shake that some more. Let's see if it's still gonna go down. Hold on. And it's still going down. You see that? Okay, this is becoming very tiring. Let's put some more diesel. Okay. Let's shake that again. It still is going down, as you see. Okay. Now, you see that our 2 liters is almost done. So, what we thought was already actually full, we were still able to introduce 2 more liters. So let's try to add some more. So anyway, I already actually ran out of diesel. This is the last diesel I have. I would say this is about a liter, or maybe 0.8, okay, of a liter. So let's try if we can still introduce this inside our fuel tank. Okay, so 0.8 of a liter. Let's see. Almost there. Now let me try a different technique. I'm going to try to push down the vehicle here, okay? Let me try to shake the vehicle that way, and let's see. Okay, that's no longer coming down. Okay, how about sideways again? Let's see. Okay, still going down. I don't know if you can see that. Hold on. Okay, so it still went down. Let's try to add some more. I'm becoming tired. Okay, let's try to add some more. Let's shake it some more, and let's see if we can shake any more of the air pockets out. Okay, it went down just a little bit more. Let's try. Okay. Shake. Okay, I do believe that is it. Actually, I'm tired, and it's still going down. Okay, let's see if we can still push any more of the air pockets out. Okay, let's add some more. So now I do believe this way it is now literally filled to the brim. Let's try to shake that some more and let's see if we're going to be still able to push some of the air packets out. And as you can see, there are still air pockets, and I'm getting very tired. Actually, the last diesel is almost gone. Let me just put some more. Okay. Okay, I'm tired. One last. Okay. One more, let's see. Okay, I do believe that's done. I do believe this is now literally, pardon my gasping for air, okay? It's exhausting shaking this vehicle. Literally filled to the brim. So conclusion, as you can see, this is all the diesel that's left. Okay, so the answer to the question, what does shaking the vehicle while refueling it actually does, is that you can squeeze a little more extra liters of fuel. Actually, by my computation, safe to say at least 6 liters or maybe even more. Because the truth of the matter is, before I started this video, I already filled it to the brim beforehand, shook the vehicle, and I already filled it up with 2 liters of fuel already, and shook the vehicle again. So when I started the video, I added a little more than a liter to fill it to the brim. And then we added another 2 liters and then another liter. So that was 6 liters all in all, and I shook the vehicle again off camera. And this vehicle has been sitting here for 2 hours now since I filled this to the brim, and as you can see, the diesel level again went down. So I do believe we can still squeeze in another liter or 2 inside this tank. But unfortunately, I ran out of diesel fuel, so I cannot have an accurate conclusion. So I'm just going to round it up to 7 liters. I also did the same to this vehicle before I started this video, filled it to the brim, shook the vehicle, and I was easily able to fill it up with 2 liters. Okay, and shook it again, and as you can see, the diesel level went down again. So I'm going to assume we can still also fill this up with additional 6 liters or more just by shaking the vehicle. So what actually happens when you shake the vehicle? Because I saw some comments on this video saying like, RIP science, rest in peace science. What is scientific about this comment? You say something without actually buttressing it with a scientific and logical argument, and then you say RIP science? What is scientific about that? So in order for us to understand what happens, let's first take a look inside a fuel tank. Now, if we look closely, we can see this. These are called baffles or baffle walls or baffle plates. Now, these are intended to keep your fuel inside the fuel tank from splashing around. Now, there's no problem if you have a full fuel tank, okay? However, as you drive along, as you consume fuel, your fuel level is also going to decrease. And if you don't have those baffle walls, that is going to splash around as you accelerate, you decrease speed, you slow down, you stop, you run over potholes, okay? So that is why we have those. And it is because of those baffle walls that has the tendency to create air pockets inside your fuel tank. As you fill it in here, it creates air pockets inside your fuel tank. Now, I also read some comments that this is purposely intended to do that, especially this one. And that is not the case, because what these are ridges for strength, okay? Now to illustrate, I have this piece of bond paper right here, okay? Now if I'm going to try to hold that here, it's not going to hold this weight in place. See that? It's going to fall down. However, by contrast, just by adding this ridge on that paper, it can hold its weight. Now you are effectively adding structural strength to this piece of paper without actually adding additional material. So it is fairly common to see those ridges. We can also see those ridges on our vehicles. Okay, now this is not only intended for aesthetic purposes, but more importantly to add additional structural strength. You see, even here we can still see that it's more subtle, but it is there. So we can see these ridges on steel drums, on jerry cans, and also in this case our fuel tank. So I cannot agree with what they say that this is purposely intended to hold in air pockets in order to give the fuel area to expand, because in reality you do not want your fuel to expand. You want it as dense as possible. That way when it gets sucked by your fuel pump to be introduced in your engine, it is dense. And this is also the reason why we have this breather hose. This is intended to let those air pockets out. But that is why our fuel tank have that one extra small hose. That is actually a breather hose. But because of these baffle walls, at times it creates pockets. So as you fill in your tank, it is going to slowly fill up. But your tank is not empty. It is filled with air. Now without this breather hose, that air is not going to escape anywhere, preventing you to fill your tank. So as you fill in your tank, the fuel level is going to rise. The air is going to escape towards here. But because of these baffle walls, like I said, it tends to create air pockets. So when you shake the vehicle, effectively shaking the fuel tank, effectively shaking away the air pockets as well. That is why we are still able to add additional 5, 6, 7, maybe 8, maybe even 10 liters depending upon the situation, depending upon the type of tank you have. Now I also read some comments that the reason why the fuel pump, as you stick it inside your fuel tank, has an auto shut-off valve, that is intended to tell you that your fuel tank is already full and that you should only fill it up to that point, and that it is intended for the safety of your vehicle. And I cannot agree with that entirely. It is about safety but not for your vehicle, okay? It is a safety feature of the fuel pump intended to protect the gas station itself, because as this fills up, you do not want the fuel to overflow out of your tank and all over the gas station in order to avoid fire hazard. Now don't get me wrong, okay? I'm not saying that you should do this or you should not do this. The whole point of this video is try to understand why. Now, if you want to do this, it's up to you. If you do not want to do this, it is up to you. But to say rest in peace science without actually buttressing your opinion with something scientific is not scientific, okay? It is, as far as I'm concerned, sorry to say, stupid. Now, if you ask me, I do not actually do this technique, shaking the vehicle. This is actually the first time I did this, but I can see the reason why some people do this. Let's do the math, okay? Now, before the war in Ukraine happened, the average price of diesel here was 58 pesos per liter. Then it increased by 5 pesos per liter, then another 14 pesos per liter. So now it is already 77 pesos per liter. So assuming it's still 58 pesos per liter, and tomorrow there will be a fuel price hike that will bring the price up to 77 pesos per liter, you fill your tank up to the brim using the technique, shaking the vehicle, allowing you to squeeze in another 6 liters of fuel. So 58 times 6 liters is equivalent to 348 pesos. Now, by contrast, if the diesel went up to 77 pesos, now 77 times 6 liters is equivalent to 462 pesos. Now, if we're going to minus that, we're going to see a difference of 114 pesos. Now, if we're going to divide 114 pesos by 58, that would still allow you to buy 1.9 liters of fuel, or almost 2 liters of fuel difference. Now anyway, as far as I'm concerned, I never really did bother about doing this, shaking the vehicle while filling it up. But I can see the reason why some people would bother doing this, because that is an extra 6 to 7 liters of fuel. And assuming the fuel price would increase tomorrow, like I've said in this equation, from 58 to 77, that would save you an additional 114 pesos. Now I don't know how the fuel prices are in your part of the world, Africa, Australia, New Zealand, America, or Europe. Let me know in the comments below. But I think it's safe to say we are all affected with this fuel crisis. So anyway, I just decided to make this video with the hope to find out what shaking the vehicle while refueling it actually does. And I hope this video answers that question. So the next video that I'm going to make is about this fuel cap, because there's actually more to this than meets the eye. So I'm going to end it here. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you do, let me know in the comments below. If you're new to my channel, like, share, subscribe if you want to. Only if you want to, and as always, thank you for watching.